Hi, I'm Eliane Saint Marie of Parenting for Wholeness, and I'm here with my very, very good friend, Kristin Panek. And she did a human design session for me yesterday, and it was less than 24 hours ago, right? I don't even know what time it was at. Holy shit,
Yeah,
like
something like
so
that.
much has happened from it. Like I avidly took notes during the session, and then I re-listened to the whole thing, which I never do that. But I re-listened to the whole thing, and I was pausing it and making notes. And oh, yeah, and I want to record this as just the testimonial to like what's possible through this. And I've been doing inner work like pretty much nonstop for 27 years, and some even before that, and like a lot of really deep work. So it's not like I'm not super self-aware and I don't know myself and any of that. So to be able to get that much out of a session is just okay. I have goosebumps. So, yeah, I don't know if there's anything you want to say before I get started, Kristen, on everything that I got from it.
No, I appreciate that because what I love is we started with a very simple thing, right? Like your to-do list. And what came through, a simple question, was just very fun to see. So,
Yeah. Well, and then wait till you see what it led me to after. So I just wrote like a bunch of notes that like things that I wanted to hit as we're talking. And I mean, so some of the benefits do come from the fact that Kristen and I have known each other, I don't know, 20 years or something, and we've worked together and like you know me really, really well. So some of the things you can see and in part like you know me. And anyway, so I do believe that some of the benefits came from the fact that you know me and the quality of our relationship. Um, but one thing, and I'm probably going to start crying, is when, like, towards the end of it, you highlighted my intensity and my passion. And that, like, I just started laughing, saying, oh, I'm not intense. And that you just started laughing. Like, you have this way. So, I guess for context, like one of my core issues is people not being able to handle me and like doing everything in their power to squash me. And that's a lot my family of origin and then my closest adult person. So that's like a really huge wound. And I've worked really, really hard at trying to not be myself, like shrink myself. And Kristen's been one of the rare people who I felt could handle me. In fact, at some point we worked together on organizing an event, and oh my God, all the shit that I threw at you. And like, it's like you were that clear, benevolent leader that I talk about. Like, you didn't let me get away with anything, but you never like were mean to me. It's like you were very on my team and just like, I hear you. And then what do you want to do with it? Like, so anyway, there's always been this very special quality that with you where I feel like you can handle me. And also when I would be like super exuberant, like on our walks and I'm like bubbly all over and like you just laugh like I'm cute instead of being like, oh my God, this woman's like so too much. So anyway, that's just the context that like when you left, when I talked about what I mentioned, or you mentioned my intensity and my passion, what I heard in that laugh was how you appreciate that about me.
mhm,
And
absolutely.
since so much of my healing journey to this day, like to this week that I'm still working on, is feeling like I have a right to be me. And it's okay for me to be have big energy and be enthusiastic and be bubbly. And so just that, which was not that much about the reading, but I guess it was like it wouldn't have come out if we hadn't had this conversation, during the reading. So just that was powerful. And I think other things that you said around that, like when you were talking about my gate eight, I don't even remember exactly what it represents, but how it's the most powerful energy for me, and that it's all about me like fully owning who I am and like, and I think you said something about like it's very connected to my throat and my speaking, and like that I need to just not worry about what people think, and that that's how my power, but even my influence comes is by really, kind of fully owning who I am and acting it out in every area of my life. Um, my mind's just going blank. But it's like, it feels like it's given me permission to be me.
Mm.
And like I could feel myself operating. I think, was it right after that that I ended up texting with one of my daughters and that it just like completely like had been blocked in being myself with my three children. Like that's the biggest current wound in my life is my inability to connect with my daughters to the degree that would be possible and to deal with issues between us because I was incapable of being myself. And it's like it just got released and I was like fully myself. And I don't know what's going to happen, but they're really good, intelligent, caring people. So I'm sure in the long, it's probably going to stir a lot of shit up because I'm showing up so differently. But it's like, so one of the people I ended up messaging, though that was before the session, was this man who's probably been the most important man in my life for 23 years. And he's the one person I've always fully been myself with. And I don't know why. But anyway, I think it's some past life shit or something. Because it was like that from the first moment I met him. And like, he can't believe that I'm not like that with everybody. Like I was telling him, and he's like, "Well, I believe you, but I don't understand how that's possible because he's always experienced me as being me.
Mm.
And part of what's always been so intoxicating of being with him is that I could just be me. Like there was no thought of being different. And now I can feel like this is actually me. Like I'm that in every area of my life. And
Mm.
I know it's still going to take some work to remove any like remnant of shame or fear or whatever. Like, I don't think it's all cleared, but it's cleared enough that I can't stop it anymore. And I'm just like, it's like I can feel like there's the power. It's like I'm a dynamo or something, like when I'm not restricted. But it also made me understand, like, why, like I've often wondered, why was I so damaged? Why did I so struggle? Why did it take me 56 years to get to a place of um, being able to be myself and to thrive and all of that? And part of it is because those things that were so quintessentially me are the things that were like deliberately and systematically beaten out of me from childhood on and then continuing in my adult relationship. So it's kind of making all the pieces fit together. But yeah, just this permission to just be who I am. And yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit scary what it's going to do to my relationship with my children because I think I so had this belief that I can't put my shit on them and I need to attune to them and it's about meeting their needs and not mine, which it's so not what I teach. But like when it comes, it's like when my personal shit gets activated. So I've never been the real me, except maybe a couple times when we were drinking. Like that's when we would actually have good conversations where the inhibitions would come down and we could, they're all adults. So it's not like I'm drinking with teenagers. Um, but yeah, but it's like, when you said it's like you can't care what people think, it's kind of how I feel. It's like I'm worried and in a way I kind of don't care because it's who I am. So anyway, that was one thing. Though I think I might have covered. Oh yeah, I kind of covered a lot. Oh, so another thing is, you probably know that, like my word is truth. Like that's my deepest, and I don't even know exactly why or how, but I know it's been for like decades. And like my one sacred object that I would bring to every gift weekend was this little stone that I found, and to me represents truth. And I've known for 15 years that I want a tattoo, and it's going to be truth, and it's going to be here on my. And there's something about like what you said in the reading about like being a rebel and like really needing to be myself and the importance of my throat center. That is like for like that's what I'm doing now that I'm expressing to everybody is I'm finally just telling the fucking truth to everybody. And that's another thing that I teach people. I'll be like, just be authentic with your children. Just and at some point I was like, I remember with this client, I was like, Holly, just tell the fucking truth. Like I'm gonna tattoo it on your forehead. Just tell your children the truth. Just talk to them like they're people. And like that's what I'm doing. And like all these conversations that I've spent years or months trying to figure out how to do them, now they're just flowing without me even thinking about it. And again, like I understand the damage because in my family, I was literally punished for telling the truth. I was not allowed to tell the truth because it put the family in a negative light, or because oftentimes it's way more convenient to say, oh no, she's 7 years old, so they can pay the lower rate, or oh no, they like she was sick. That's why she wasn't at school instead of saying we were taking a trip. So I was made to lie, even though it was so painful for me. So I was in this like lose-lose. Um, but yeah. And then the other thing about self-expression is like one thing that has been so I don't know, disruptive and that I so hate is that I have spent so many times having conversations in my head with people and I can't stop it. It's like it's obsessive. And oftentimes it would be like I'd be having conversations in my head with my mom and my sister, who I have no desire to have relationships with, when meanwhile my relationships or the important things in my present life were going unattended to. And yet I couldn't stop it. It was this like it's something that I've struggled with my whole life. And now understanding my need to speak and to express and to tell the truth, it's like until I told the truth, I couldn't leave it behind. And then once I did, like I did finally manage to write to my mom a couple years ago, where finally I was able to access truth and name it, the conversations are gone. So anyway, so my inability to do that, anyway, it's like it's just bringing light to so much and making me understand so much. Um, okay, I think the other ones are just notes that I made for myself. But yeah, I mean, like understand, but I guess I'm gonna name them too because so yeah, I've been sitting with this like this thing about my to-do list and like this one thing that you said, I think that's when I texted you. Then I texted you at some point, I'm like, you're fucking brilliant. Because like all these little tidbits were like gems. Like when you said that my drive is tremendous, so it's important who's in the driver's seat, my inner guidance, not my mind. It's like, oh my God. And then like learning that I can have fears because I do have that fear center or something, or gate, but it doesn't mean I'm on the right track. So I can keep taking act. Like it's like just knowing that. It's like, okay, it's just I'm wired this way. I don't have to worry about it. I can keep doing it. And as long as it flows, I know I'm good. And, if it stays there, maybe I look at it to see if there's something to it. Um, oh, I have the providing resources piece. I know we talked a little about that, how I'm so good at providing resources for my clients that they say, like, where do you find this stuff? Like, how do you do this? But then I was thinking about our relationship and how, for as long as we've known each other, I feed you.
Yeah.
Like that, it's just the thing. Like I don't think you've ever. I remember you making me a latte a couple of years ago, and I was like, "Oh, that's so different." I mean, I've been at your house a million times, and you've provided me all kinds of stuff. But anyway, it's like I could see how I provide resources, like professionally, but even personally, like that's what I do. I feed people, I take care of people, and um, yeah. So then the to-do list. Oh, just like a cool thing that I thought of is, the whole Marie Kondo thing. I was thinking, okay, approach my to-do list from the Marie Kondo approach of, does this bring me joy? Does this like let me up? Okay, do it. And I have been experimenting with since our call. I've not even looked at my to-do list. And I mean, I'm experimenting, I'll see what happens. I don't think anything's gonna dramatic is gonna happen if I don't look at it for 4 days, but it's been so freeing. And then I even tried it this morning where like I had this urge to go work in my program thing. And then I was like, oh no, I really should do this other thing because oftentimes I just do the easy things in the morning. And then this is harder. So then when I come to it, it's just hard. So anyway, so I made myself go do the other thing. I did it a little bit and then I was like, okay, yeah, the energy's not there. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's try. Let's go back to what I originally wanted to do. And I kind of wanted to cry. And it's just work, it's not like, but it's like just feeling like, this is it. Like this is what it feels like when it's like I had the clarity, then I talked myself out of it. So anyway, that was really cool. Um and yeah, some of the limitations that we're talking about, like what are my fears around was it like what are my fears around just listening to my inner guidance instead of like using my mind to take care of my to-do list. So what that's actually about, which is so surprising, is about me not mattering and not believing that I deserve to feel good. So if I'm doing just what feels good to me, I am selfish and I am bad and I am wrong
Mm,
and something bad will happen to me.
wow.
So all the same shit. But anyway, it was so cool to connect it with it and to realize, okay, this is actually what's going on. So now I just need to go to some more work on that wound and then it'll be good. Or even just oftentimes just identifying it is enough to unhook it to um and then oh my God, okay, this is probably the biggest one. It's maybe not a surprise that I kept it at the end. Uh the beliefs about how I should be grounded.
Yeah.
Well, that's all about the judgments around me being perky and being too bubbly and too whatever. So, like, there's so much judgment that I should not be. If I'm ungrounded, that's the worst thing I can be. Like, that's the most annoying thing. That's what will lead to, yeah, so basically to the person I loved most being annoyed with me and then becoming really mean at me and really shaming me. Like it brought out the worst to where I would get like really negative consequences from it. So
Wow.
that's my problem with being ungrounded. So now I'm like, I'm letting that shit go. Like the balloon, I'm letting the string go. Just go. You don't belong to me anymore. Uh Yeah, I think that's what I got from this 45-minute thing from what, 18 hours ago or something.
Thank you so much for explaining all that came up for you afterwards, because this is the piece I don't often get to see. I often get emails back, but not this level of detail. And what I really honor about you is that you really take it in and you work it. Like the you are up to the job of meeting whatever's coming at you and using it for your own growth. And I just really honor that you did that. So yeah, permission to be fully who you are. And that brings such abundance to all of us. So may you
To the right
continue.
people. It brings abundance to the right people. Like to me, that's the key piece because I have so much experience of the opposite. So for me, like that's the distinction of
Right. But even as you do that, with your children, which is, new territory for you, that will bring abundance in
Oh
that
yeah.
area.
Oh no, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not referring to them. I'm referring to my family and to the other people that I've lost when I dared show myself. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I
So
was saying
those
before, I
networks
feel
where
like it,
you're,
it weeds the wheat from the shaft. It's like you be yourself, and then the people who aren't a match to you fall away, and the ones who are just yeah, really get
yeah.
benefit from it, and it really rich the relationship.
Yeah, and it gives permission to others to be themselves too. So
Yeah.
thank
Yeah,
you.
well, that piece I do know because people tell me that in my work, all because in my work I've been myself,
Yeah.
and people do tell me that all the time. That it's like it almost like it shows them how you can be, and then they're able to almost like a mirror or like absorb it, like being in my presence a lot, which I run 3-month intensive program, so they get a lot of it. So it really helps kind of like embody that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess as you were talking, I'm thinking, so like to me, if anybody's listening, that would be another recommendation is like, okay, the reading's great, but yeah, then like go take it to heart, take notes and take it to heart and then rewatch it and just like really sit with. I mean, I think for me it's easy because I do so much inner work that, it
Well, yeah,
doesn't require effort to get all the insights.
yeah, you take it and run, but I do run 8-week courses to help people do that, to
Oh,
actually
yeah.
embody it and bring it into their life. So not only one-on-one sessions, but I do work with them over time. So
Yeah. So this would make sense if anybody's inspired by this and is like, "Ooh, I want to get out of it what Eliane did, but whatever, like I feel like I need more support," then take Kristen's course because then she'll lead you by the hand for 8 weeks through it. And as I I have worked with a lot of people and I am really, really, really picky. So for me to text her saying you're fucking brilliant, she's fucking brilliant.
you you can find me at leadbydesignwithkristin.com. One of the places you can find me, Kristin, leadbydesignwithkristin.com. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I'll put all the same notes in the show notes like I did in yesterday's video so people can easily find you.
Yeah, cool.
All righty. Thank you so much. I love you. I'm so blessed to have you in my life.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Eliane.